Statistically, Africa has the fastest growing population on Earth and is faced with enormous challenges and risks. The increased demand for food holds many threats, including greater levels of starvation and poverty, which can lead to a long list of social maladies, economic disruption, and political instability.
A lot of young people find themselves with an unrecognized purpose and unproductive usage of their time. History bears testament to how this unchanneled potential can cause a breeding ground for civil strife and rebellion.
With its unique population profile, Sub-Saharan Africa is the youngest region in the world. 2 out of 3 inhabitants are under the age of 25. This region is home to over 200 million young people, and many of them are employed in the agricultural sector. This makes it clear that today's young Africans hold the keys to the continent's sustainable agricultural development and future food security.
If one has a bird's eye view of agriculture in a continent that has great potential, one cannot fail to see that the key players are the more matured. In other words, the older members or older citizens of our society. The youth are conspicuously absent.
Having spent their lives witnessing parents and grandparents eking out a meager economic existence, many as simple subsistence farmers, young Africans often have skewed perceptions and a lack of motivation with regard to agriculture as a means to economic advancement. This misconception urgently needs to be redressed.
Agriculture is not considered to be that important in the country, and for youth it is not even an option to go into agriculture. It is considered that there's no future in agriculture.
At school, my teachers always said that students who take on agriculture as a course are failures, and it's always the last resort when applying for courses at university. And this is very true, especially for some of my friends I've interacted with at university level. They always put agriculture as the last option. It's true.
Negative attitudes and perceptions need to be changed to affect the following: how young people engage with the agri-food sector in Africa as producers, entrepreneurs, employees, consumers, and citizens. Understanding changes in the agri-food sector and what they mean to society at large. And the practical implications of alternative policy approaches to the development of the agri-food sector. In 2011, FANRPAN convened a high-level regional food security policy dialogue in Swaziland with the theme advocating for active engagement of the youth in the agricultural value chain. Over 200 delegates from 21 countries attended, with the aim of contributing ideas to stimulate the energy and entrepreneurial spirit of Africa's younger generation.
It is the intention of this dialogue here in Swaziland to involve a number of young people into agriculture, to see agriculture as more than just toiling in the field. In so doing that, we will harness our greatest asset, the asset that we have, which is the African youth.
Relevant aspects like rural livelihoods and social protection, Africa's green revolution, and safeguarding natural resources were highlighted. Case studies of innovative youth initiatives were also showcased. FANRPAN, in partnership with ACP EU Technical Center for Agricultural and Rural Cooperation, CTA, launched country case studies on current and emerging youth policies and initiatives, with a special focus on links to agriculture. The purpose of the case studies is to identify space and opportunities for developing national youth and agricultural policies within agricultural policies and make appropriate policy recommendations.
The focus on youth has undergone a paradigm shift from mere problem fixing or crisis avoidance to a more comprehensive approach, which is called youth development. Now, youth development as a comprehensive strategy, as Ndoa Youth Resource Center, getting the direction from African Union, may be defined as an ongoing growth process where all youths are engaged in addressing and attempting to achieve two things. The first one, aiming to provide the basic personal and social needs for them to be safe, feel cared for, be valued and spiritually grounded. And the second one is to build competence and skills that function and contribute effectively to their social and economic lives.
I'm a Web 2.0 guru. I know very much about social media, and I'm a techie. I have never been in an agricultural class, but I eat daily, drink, and know how important agriculture is to me. How can I use my technical skills to document and report on agriculture? Now, this one calls, when we are talking about empowering youth, we shouldn't look at only youth who are in agricultural fields. We should look at youth who are journalists. We should look at youth who have studied technology. We should look at youth in all fields so we can all work together to support our fellow youth who are in agricultural sectors.
As a student, I was just attending lectures, but then I joined a society named as the Agricultural Society, which is managed by students at the Faculty of Agriculture. The main aim of this society is about creating awareness on agriculture and involve more youth into agriculture, into different activities. The aim is for them to know what kind of job they can, what are the opportunities that they are getting in the agricultural sector, and many of the students have been employed after attending the job fair.
Delegates at the FANRPAN Dialogue also had an opportunity to learn from colleagues from the Caribbean and the Pacific.
Encouraging youth into agriculture activity has been a very big challenge worldwide, and we, the Pacific, are no exception. The Pacific Youth in Agriculture Strategy was an initiative of the Pacific Youth in Agriculture Forestry Network Policy in collaboration with the Human Development Program of SPC as a direct response to the call by Ministers of Agriculture in 2008 to explore ways in which more young people could be supported to take up careers in agriculture.
I should emphasize that the Caribbean Agriculture Forum for Youth has a place at the Caribbean Week of Agriculture where they participate in what we call the Alliance. They sit with the ministers, they report on their activities, and they make recommendations as to how policy can be formulated to support youth participation in agriculture in the Caribbean. So therefore, CAFE has an important role to play. They have a place at the table in terms of policy formulation in the Caribbean region.
The young people attending the Swaziland Policy Dialogue found that they could relate very well to the host country's Minister of Youth and Development. So much so that a separate meeting was convened between the minister and the youth. Their exuberance and genuine concern for the future of their generation and African food security led to a lively discussion.
I am pleased to see the good attendance of young people in the meeting, where issues pertaining to their development are being discussed. This is in line with the spirit of the African Youth Charter, as it attaches the importance of allowing young people to become custodians of their own development. The motto of my department, which is the Department of Youth Affairs, goes, "Nothing for the youth without the youth."
The dialogue also served as a valuable interface between older and younger generations. Older women especially have a wealth of experience to impart to younger generations. After all, African women produce nearly 90% of the continent's food. Listening attentively to the older folks, it became clear that the younger set were surprised at how much they could actually learn. Their passion and love for the land in particular was nothing less than contagious.
You've all got Facebook. Even the women I was teaching, they will say, what can we learn from Coco Makota? All what she says, teaching us, we know it already from before, And again, they think that when you are old, you are archaic, you don't know anything, you've got old ideas which do not work. No, you must infuse them together the new knowledge and the old knowledge. Let them work together and see which one is the best. Yeah.
You know, the finances. There could be...
The 2011 FANRPAN dialogue resolved that youth initiatives be better supported and documented, that information be made available to the youth regarding opportunities in agriculture, that policy platforms which specifically include the youth be strengthened, that the youth be engaged in providing evidence to inform policies on agriculture, natural resources, and other relevant sectors, that the youth's knowledge of new media and ICTs be harnessed to develop the agricultural sector.
We have brought in youth who are involved in agriculture academically. But what fascinated the delegates is the confession by the youths that they've been studying agriculture in theory, but for the first time, they went out to a village. They talked to a farmer. They saw what it means when you talk about sustainable multi-commodity enterprises within a half-an-acre home. That was fascinating to hear that we've always taught our students through theory and they never get the opportunity to learn. So this is something that the youth are taking back, and now when they talk farming, when they talk the value chain, they will understand what it is that happens in a smallholder environment, and they'll find their space.
In many countries, young Africans are already actively engaged in the agricultural value chain. This promising spirit of entrepreneurship, however, needs to be further encouraged and rewarded. There is also a need to document these initiatives, upscale best practices, and to increase efforts to disseminate useful information.
I want to challenge young people to take advantage of these opportunities to contribute to their societies. We are looking up to you as the youth to come up with innovative ways of doing things. Those before you have done a lot to make the world habitable for you. The onus is now upon you to rise up to the challenge, break old barriers to ensure Africans have food on the table at all times. Africa has spoken, so it is now the time for our youth to act.